And because this has that edge, it kind of sticks to the edge wherever I push it and pull it. So that's all we had to do to load up a large. All right, so Shanon, I'm gonna do yours, and then that way, once I get you going, because you have a large, right?
And I have a large as
This
well.
is the large. Okay, so we should be able to get I need the big print. We'll go ahead and get that done. And we'll do the big print last. We're gonna do the tile print first so that you understand the difference, all right? So let's see the button in action. I might need a little help, might need y'all to hand me stuff as I go. Now this is very high press. No,
Okay.
well I'm gonna show y'all how to adjust this. So this is a very high table. Normally you would not have your press up this high, especially when you're pressing all overs. You actually want it to be down low, but we're gonna adjust this right now. And I'm just gonna pre-adjust it, so I have to loosen it up, let it down a little bit. I'm gonna pre-adjust it to a height that's probably a little bit higher. And I'm trying to show you this can be done with one person. And this is very lightweight. Don't put nothing on top of this. This is literally like a drum of Teflon. So you know how you wouldn't place anything on a drum because it could stretch it the wrong way or you can burst through it? Don't do that. This is gonna be great for what it is, but don't try to make it a work table. All right, so now I can roll this over. I think, is there a bag or something down there it's catching?
No, it's just
Okay,
catching.
no?
That corner is higher though.
No, we're gonna adjust it. So I just pre-adjusted it a little bit just to show you. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it down until you see your platen down there, okay? So y'all look, if you need to stand up to see that, you might have to just because I'm showing you that's the top of my platen right here. I can kind of see it here, right there.
This is so much better
So
than
it's
the
so
last.
much better than
Actually
that
see what
board,
she said.
than the hard board.
Actually see.
Oh yeah.
I got 2 pieces of that at home.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to show y'all this method because I want you to see, like I've done this with the board. Y'all have seen it done with the board. So many people have so many issues. Vicky's heat press actually extends from the plate here. So I don't know if you heard what I was saying basically, because people are like, I don't understand the difference in the presses. But Vicky, this is what I was saying, like, is your press circumcised enough? If it's circumcised, you have the heat plate visible.
Let's look at this
or is it-
circumcision.
This one is mildly circumcised, okay? I have one at home where the heat plate is sticking out a lot. It's more dangerous because you don't have the cover, but the more expensive ones I have are completely covered, okay? They're just all, they're just nothing hanging out, and it causes those hard lines in your press because what happens is the casing starts digging into your shirt and your cushioning and all of that stuff. So that's why this system was developed. I said, well, let me make something that can work with virtually almost any heat press. And if you see, this goes behind the actual plate here. So you'll see it'll lock behind it as well. I'm gonna go ahead and let this side down. And I got this table here, so sorry, I have to scoot around a little bit. Now that one's loose over there. I'm gonna loosen this one too. And just letting it naturally kind of rest on the surface. I feel my platen here. Lock it right there. And now I need to lift this one up just a little bit. Let it drop. And now my legs are in place. I'm going to tighten it up. So I didn't tighten it up at first. I just wanted to get it in place. Make sure it's good enough. This one looks like I definitely have to pull this one up a little bit. And I can see my heat, but I don't want it stressed out. I don't want it resting on it so much that it's stressing it out. But I do want to know where my plate is at all times. I think that's good. This also shows you don't have to be perfect for it to work. I like to demonstrate mistakes and stuff. It's all a part of the plan. All right, so now this being on this table, I should be able to go all the way to the left. And this is on the table. What I show y'all is that I have it on, something is, I think it's this carpet. This carpet, I can't even roll my luggage around on this carpet without it getting stuck. Yeah, a little more. And then if y'all want to come to the side of the heat press, see that I have, and this is a slide out press. Okay, so we're gonna push it all the way in. You're gonna need this to go behind it. Now, does yours lock in place when can you slide it under the lock?
I mean, it'll stay though, but
Yeah.
it doesn't lock.
Got you. And I think I got it pressed all the way to the back, so let me just test a little bit here.
The pressure.
I'm gonna pull my buddy back a little bit because I don't want to be on the metal.
Is
Do I
it
need
too
to
tight?
lighten that up a little bit?
Yeah.
There really is no thick, well, there is a little bit of a thickness. It's negligible though. It's like adding a cover sheet. And that's the idea. Take a cover sheet rather than a thick board, and you should reduce the amount of hard pressure that you're putting down.
All right, the buddy system. It's called the buddy system.
All right, so I'm good there. Now, can I pop it up or how do
You
I?
gotta push the button on the side
Oh, we got a button.
to release it.
Which one?
Where about over there?
Where is it? Oh, we're back there. Well, buddy ain't gonna let you get to that one easy.
Now, is that the only way you can release it, Vicky?
No, it times out and it.
Oh,
it's auto open.
before the time,
But
that's
it's
the only
before
way
the
you
time,
can
that's
do
the
it.
only way you can do it. But you can, Shannon, you could also take something and just kind of have something that's like an extra hand.
Yeah, and just and then something else
With the
like
buddy
yeah. I got
Yes.
the button presser.
It goes with the buddy system.
Yes, it's being demonstrated live at the Chicago All Over Destination Workshop with this genius Shanon Wooden. Ta-da!
I like that look.
So this carpet ain't doing my wheels justice. These are like rollerblading wheels, so they like on regular floors they float. They look like ice skating. Okay, but on this carpet over here, it won't let us be great. But it does move, and I want you to move it because I want you to get used to doing that. We might have to move this table a little bit because I want to make sure y'all can go all the way to the right without bumping into you. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, we can.
Yep.
Is that
You
okay?
take that paper off too. That's probably.
Oh,
the
yeah,
hat
but
thing.
not
you
this
do.
carpet.
No, I'm just saying because
Oh
of
yeah,
the carpet, it might make
we're
it.
good. Let's see if we take the roll off.
Please
Maybe.
join our Facebook
I'm
group,
just saying for the purposes of.
Innate
It's
Creatives.
not that heavy, but we'll see if we
And
take it off.
yes,
So this has a roll holder here because this is on carpet and this type of carpet is like textured. It stops. So let me see.
you can pre-order this from Shanon Wooden's website at innatelab.com. Okay, that's where you can pre-order your buddy system.
It's the carpet.
It's still, yeah.
It's the carpet, but I mean, hey,
You wanna put it back?
yeah, it's the carpet. But y'all will still be able to get the back. All right, so like I said, this is a system, so I'm gonna make sure that we do a system approach to this. We need a piece of cover paper first.
What's the heaviest size that the, wood paper,
I wouldn't even, I actually roll off paper. I roll off paper to put on there because I really don't even want to test that. And I have hard floor, so it does well with that. It's just, yeah. I just basically take some of that, roll it off, because I have big, like 1,000-foot rolls. And then I just roll some of it off to go on here. Then that way I kind of have a station that still has regular roll paper, and then I have this set up. This is actually how we cut all of these pieces. So when you pull that off of the roll, you cut your, yeah, absolutely. And then almost all of your pieces are the same size as your buddy system. So now we have a system where we can tell the center point. So with everything, including your cover paper, you're gonna fold and pinch the top and the bottom. Okay?
Somebody's phone.
Mine is mine, I don't know. I would be surprised if my phone even made a noise. Alright, so I'm gonna pinch that top and bottom. So we have a center point. Now on your buddy system, this one, we just assembled like literally last night up here, so it doesn't have it on there. It has a little triangle at the bottom for your center. And then your inserts will have triangles in the center as well. So it'll make it a lot easier to line everything up. I'm gonna press here in the center as well. Alright, and then I don't need this one quite yet. So let's put our shirt on and let's pre-press. And see how with this Teflon, I can kind of pull on these sleeves a little bit and tell whether it's gonna pucker or not. I can pull on, I can get rid of some of my puckers just by pulling on the shirt. All right, so y'all are going to do the back side of the shirt, those who have ties. And what you can do, if you don't want to press the back of the shirt, y'all can just press the front, because you're gonna get the multi-press action out of the front print. The front print is gonna turn out nicer than the back print. I'm just giving you a heads up because y'all have the tiles there. You'll get to see it. And you just have to keep practicing. And this is a new press for me too, so then there's a lot of variables. But you'll notice that those variables get less and less important when it's something that kind of mitigates a lot of the risk for you. Can I pull on this? Is that what this is for?
Push it up, push the rubber over.
Huh?
It's hanging off the edge.
Push it and do what now?
The rubber.
Oh,
Push it.
this?
Yeah, that's the, yeah.
Got you.
That gives
Okay.
it some reach.
Oh, I like that. You might need something like this for anything
For the
that
buddy
extends,
system.
especially, well, just in general, because my press is down lower, just a little bit. I have it on a lift cart, so I pump it up if I want it higher, and then I let it down. And that's a motorcycle lift that I get from Amazon. So if y'all remind me, put that on the list. All right, so I'm just going to the center of the shirt here, where the neckline is, which is going to give us the most issues. And let me see if that's enough pressure, too much pressure. Now, does this have a pressure gauge, or you just get the feel of it?
I just get the feel.
Got you. And I need to put a little more tape here, because and I'm telling y'all, these shirts are not consistent. They're not symmetric, none of that.
That's
So,
what they trying to pump them out right now.
well, and no, I'm just saying in general, they never have been. So like, if I used to do my shirts, I used to wonder, well, if they're right, then I should be able to just flip the shirt, and I have to use a different cover paper for the bottom. Okay, there it goes. All right, so I let it pre-press for the same amount of seconds that I actually sublimate for, and that's because it gets that collar really flat. You can see here that depression of that collar is pretty good there, and I'm just putting some extra tape here. So I'm going to show y'all how to put it on the Teflon though, because if you tape it before, it will be better than trying to tape it after you get your shirt on there. All right, so that's just going to catch that excess ink there. And I'll probably have to do it to my front too. My sleeves look okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and then I don't even have to move my shirt around. Like I said, this is gonna have the center point in it too, so I'm just gonna imagine. I'll probably cut the center point out for y'all on this one. This is just the prototype set. So let me get some scissors, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Everything has a halfway point, right? And that's how we can find the center of stuff. That's how I find the center of all the prints, all of that. So I'm just gonna put a little notch right here. And then can somebody bring the trash can over here? Because we're definitely gonna need it. Let's bring the trash can this way.
That gray one is for the all over.
And then these were all hand cut the same exact way I told y'all to hand cut the paper. So that's what I'm saying. You're not missing nothing out on not cutting out your inserts today, because it's the same exact process. Now, these are vectored now into. So into symmetric patterns. So now mathematically it counts all of that out. But when I was making these initially, this is like literally I handmade these the same way I told y'all to handmade the paper ones, no different. All right, so now I can look at the center part of my paper here.
You on the back?
Oh yeah, I was doing the back. Let's stay on the back because we're gonna put the multi paper on the back. The center point there. Center point here. That way you use your reference point. If I stay parallel down there, guess what? As long as my paper's on there, even and parallel, then I'm always gonna have even print. I don't have to worry so much about pressing crooked and off center, none of that, because you're keeping a system. All right, so I'm not gonna pre-press this one. I'll pre-press one, but it takes the same amount of time to pre-press. It will take about 5 minutes almost to pre-press a shirt if you're doing it that way. And I want us to go ahead and be able to start getting some of these projects out. So I'm going to, and I should be using cover paper too, but I'm not using the cover paper only because I want to show you what it's doing as it's going. And I should have also, because it's some ink back here, so let me use the cover paper after this. I think we have some 13 by 19 cover paper cut. Let me get one of those. So this will definitely come off the back here. And at least it's going to absorb just immediately what we're doing. Yeah, go ahead and get that button in there. All right, so the other thing is, I think a lot of people told me they never have pre-pressed for the entire time. The difference between pre-pressing 10 seconds and pre-pressing 30 seconds is dramatic. If you pre-press for the full 30 seconds, it actually makes the shirt flatter. If you pre-press for like 10, 15 minutes, when you lift it up, that whole shirt will pull up and start balling up and all kind of stuff. So just 30, even if you don't do the full 60 seconds, do at least 30 seconds pre-press, and it'll get it flat like this. All right, so I'm just moving my buddy now. Instead of moving my shirt so much, I'm just gonna move the shirt really once to rotate it. All right, so. And if we can do 30 seconds again and then let it pop up, then I'll do my left and right because I already did the back up here. And then, Shanon, where's your print?
Right there.
Okay, perfect.
I rolled mine up.
You gonna say that you're gonna press it later?
My shirt not big enough so I can't press it.
Yeah, well, press it on. I'm just press it on something. Just try it. Even if it's like a Walmart polyester shirt, just to get the process down.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be something that at least to try.
You wanna pop it?
Pop it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was supposed to tell you the time. My bad. Okay. So the way I try to have you think about it is slide to the left, slide to the right, and then crisscross. Right. So basically, you do the center, left, right, and then crisscross. So if y'all remember that next time, it'll help me show y'all how to remember your stuff. So we already did the center. So my buddy would have been here in the center. There's my center right there. And I can see the center of my press there too. And up on this one. So I already did the center, so I'm just gonna slide to the left. And you should be able to get up to your 4X, I think, still. Just doing the 3 to the top, 3 to the bottom. End up getting hot, building up heat. And I don't want y'all to spin something around. Now the hot part is right here on the yeah. So
Touching it with your hand.
yeah, that too. But you know, you be just like pressing up against stuff, and it's like, ow! I don't want nobody come to get
Some
talking
people
no.
work in their pajamas.
Yeah. Some people.
Pajamas ain't
Yeah,
clothes, no.
I think it was Tanya telling us that story. She was like, I pressed it with my shirt off, and you never want to do that.
That's Tanya.
As I said, sometimes the pajamas ain't
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just get this one pressed for the back, and then I'll show you the difference between the front and the back. All right, so this is not tacky paper, but because it's not tacky paper, oh yeah, let's go ahead and clean that up too. All I have to do is just pull this down a little bit. Yeah, this shirt is a little short, and I need to put something in the neckline here. So let me get a piece of, yep, and then I'm gonna show you how to cut the neck insert where you won't have to make it the exact size of the shirt. We're gonna make a little wedge. I think I have some right here.
The good ones.
Yeah, thank you.
The good ones are.
All right, so if you make a wedge, basically what you're doing is you're creating a triangle that doesn't have the tip. So I'm gonna use this to create a few wedges. And then once you cut one, it leaves you the ability to cut another. So I have a couple of wedges here. And then trash. Did you bring us a trash can?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good right there, because I still want to be able to slide.
Okay.
Alright. So for my neck, what I'm going to do is stick the biggest part in there first. And let me pull this out and see if I can get this a little bit better. So I'm going to stick the biggest part inside, and then I'm going to pull it up until it stops. Okay? So
That's smart.
now I should have loaded this while I was down here, but hey. we'll risk the heat. All right, so push it down. See, it's too big. And then I just pull it up until it's just the right size to cover that. And then what happens is if you start with a certain size shirt, let's say you do your bigger shirts first, or your smaller shirt. No, I would do the bigger shirts first, and I can cut that down and keep using that at least a couple times. Some of these things you won't be able to, have everything completely reusable. All right, so this is covered. I have my sleeves covered. That should catch the ink. And I'm ready for my print. Now, because this is a 13 by 19 tile, it's not tacky paper, I'm gonna show you how you can tack this down. So somebody will hand me a roll of tape there. Appreciate it.
You need some scissors?
No, I'm just gonna tear it. All right. So we're not gonna use like spray tack or anything, because y'all don't want to use that mess on these all over shirts. You're gonna have spray tack everywhere. Just tack
I
your,
love that stuff.
yeah.
Well, when you showed us, yeah.
Right, it works, but like when I take this all in your nostrils and everything, like it's no joke. So I'm just taping this down so that when I spin this around, it stays centered on my cover sheet, okay? All right. So let's get ready, and then you can do pretty much the same thing here. You get to see these tiling skills that Shanon has. Let's see them, let's see them. All right. Now, generally, what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you with the large format print, we fold it in half and pinch to get the center. You almost have a true center here. It's not exact because it overlaps a little bit, but it's probably enough to not be so concerned about. What I do want you to be aware of is your lines. Now, your hem is never straight, so don't ever think that it has to be parallel with my hem, because these hems are definitely off. But you do want to pay attention to the center line of your neck. And let me trim this off a little bit to show you why. So I'm going to peel this back so I can see the center line of my paper there. You see, that's my center line here. And let me just tear that off so I can see my center line there. Center line here. And center line here. And that should about match up. So now I should be able to roll this back and see, okay, that is about the center of my shirt there. I should be able to roll this back. That's the center of my shirt there. And I also feel, like I go for feels, and I'm feeling my shirt, making sure that my print's gonna make it right there. It's real close. I'm gonna put it down just a little bit. Make sure you cover your armpits. There to there. Just slightly. I'm covering my sleeves there. Now this is a tight fit for a large, but you get a large in 4 tiles, is a big deal. All right, so I'm gonna use the little sheet to press so that y'all can see where it yellows. I think that'll be a little bit better for a demonstration. So let's go to the center, and then I have to make sure that this bottom piece is pushed all the way in there. It has a handle on it. Okay. All right, and before I actually press it down, I'm actually making sure that I'm gonna get my entire shirt with the collar underneath there. It's a little bit thicker now. And what I should have done, which I'm gonna do now, is because this is a tacky, that way it reduces the possibility of it shifting while you're moving, making any movements.
Do you use the heat tape?
I do, absolutely. We'll use the heat tape for like a license plate, but you'll see heat tape is expensive, so we're only gonna use heat tape when you need to, and then that way you'll get to understand when you need to. Yeah. And heat tape is one of those things you can't just find it in the store willy-nilly. So I'd rather use masking tape where I can, because I can always go to the dollar store and replace it. But you're talking about
the stuff they give you at what you get from Cricket and Sullivan.
oh yeah.
$6 for that movie.
I ordered off Amazon. I did like 4, 5, 6 rolls for like $8.99.
All right, so what we're gonna do? Slide to the what?
Left.
To the left.
All right, so let's slide to the left.
To the left.
Crisscross.
Your other left,
Huh?
your other left.
What? We're gonna do the left side.
Oh.
She talking about the shirt when she's.
What?
No,
She's
you,
talking about you slide it to the left, you slide to the right. That's
Oh, no. Oh, I guess slide to the left, you thinking you're gonna press the left.
right.
So I'm sliding to get to the left section. So slide to get to the left section. Slide to get to the right section. All right, we can change the song. All right. Yeah, because technically that's what I was doing before, and I was like, I think maybe that's why I was doing it, because I was just like. All right, so I think we're good on tape. I'm just gonna move this cover paper over. And then this will kind of let me know what I'm pressing as I'm going. You see how it's this color? It's basically that ink is coming through. You can also check to see if you have wavy lines. More than likely, it means that you have some air that's moving around in there, which means that you didn't have enough contact and pressure and heat, okay? So sometimes you can just press it a second time and it's perfectly fine. But just look for the wavy lines if you have that issue. All right, so let's see what we get here with this press. And if I was pressing and I had smoother traction or less friction on these wheels, you could really like keep this line up because it's almost like it's on a track, because this buddy system will stay on the back of your heat plate. So it kind of, as long as you know that you're going left to right only, you don't have to worry about, oh, did I press this section already? You can clearly see that. Now I'm gonna do all of this one, and then we'll do the next one. Y'all will do y'all next ones, and then I'll step back.
no, you're fine.
No, I need
I
to
know.
get your hands there so you like, woo,
But you
I
fine,
did that.
yeah, you fine.
I want to see this muscle flex. All right. And we're going 60 seconds right now. Normally, if you have black anywhere in your print, you're not going to want to go 60 seconds more than once, because it will start to show. And we'll see here. This is probably going to be the best version of it, just because we do have something thinner. But if you're using that board too, it would be much more noticeable. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about if you've ever done the board. Yeah.
Look how much easier this is. Look, just glad.
So Shannon, the buddy gives like some give to the, when you're pressing, compared to the board.
Yes, and it's basically like if you could take that board, make the board be a fraction of the thickness, and still be able to you're using your foam underneath. So if you can imagine continuing, and this is the other thing I looked at buying a big piece of board and having a big piece of foam, but that was so expensive, and it gets heavy and it warps, and it doesn't give you consistency. So this, you're using the existing pad on your press. You're just using a thin layer of Teflon here to just help you float whatever it is and support whatever you're doing. If you notice, when you press stuff, it hangs off the edge of the press. It starts sliding and moving, and then you get like a little bump where something didn't get pressed. This kind of eliminates that. I use this on my large format press. I have a 30 by 40, and I still use this because it extends my work surface. This is a 40 by 50. So I can do my 4 and 5X shirts without them hanging off the edge of that, even a large format press. All right, so now, and y'all see those waves right there. Where those waves came from is basically there's no shirt there to make contact. So what happens, you see those wrinkles because the air is allowed to travel and escape there. But if you see it in your print, that's when it's a problem. If it's outside the print, that's natural. Let's see here. We're gonna crisscross, which means we're gonna spin it. All right, and again, I want my center to be in the center. Now this is a large, so technically all I have to do is a left and a right. But what I want to get y'all used to is if you're doing multiple presses, keep your center press in the middle. It's an extra press because I'm gonna have to do 3 presses rather than 2 because I have to do the center, left and right. But the less times that you're crisscrossing, if you crisscross in the middle of here and here, you're just creating that tension in the middle of the shirt, versus if I could have set it off here and here, it might not be so noticeable on the sides. Your overlap.
So you're saying start in the middle and then left to right?
Right. So, and I used to do these, and you can still do these, 1 press here, 1 press here. But what I noticed, I would have overlap, 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 overlap. And you can clearly see the crossroads of where everything happened. All right. So when I pull this down, I'm obviously going to get my overlap here. And that's the good thing about the system too. You can see your overlap here. And I am going to intentionally pull this out because I want to reduce my overlap, but I still want to make sure I have it. So I'm pulling the print. You see that? I'm just moving the print. I ain't moving the whole system. I'm not modifying the press.
Shannon, some of us can't fit this in our apartments. What do we do,
Well,
Jesus?
listen.
Listen,
No, the
because I
question
want
is
one
how
of these.
soon before the collapsible version.
Right, so the collapsible version is on the way, but what will happen is the legs will collapse in. And I guess what happens is y'all tell me enough of what y'all need. Just like this split template never existed before y'all started complaining to me like, Sharon, when you gonna teach us all over tile? And this whole tiling system, split system came from you all badgering me about showing you this. And it's because I wanted to show you, but I didn't want to show you something that was hard to repeat. So I created a process that made it simpler for you. So same thing with this. If y'all keep badgering me about y'all can't fit this in your space. Well, and the other thing is too, you have to be very careful with this top. So if you do collapse it, then basically I need something that it goes into whenever you're not using it, so it protects it, so like nothing's gonna bust through it or anything like that. Because this size of Teflon is very expensive to replace. So I wanna basically I don't wanna sell you anything that'll be easy for you to tear up and then like, oh yeah, I could sell you another one of those Teflon sheets for $99.99. I feel bad about that. So I wanna make sure that it's robust. And that I'm liable for something that I put out there. Oh yeah, you know what? See, I was listening to Vicky's version of the song. Yes, you are, and you know what? That's not your first time paying attention. You've been paying attention the whole day. So I'm, like I said, I'm definitely impressed. All right, so I want to see that I'm going to get overlap into this yellow area. Cover paper is just covering. Okay. And of course, we have one more press here, but I'm gonna do a little sneak peek. Now, what I'm really testing to see right here, this collar, almost every time you're going to have to like repress that or just put down so much pressure that you never have this issue. But this is from your regular desktop printers. This is a True Colors ink on the regular desktop printers. And I'm gonna turn this around and press this again.
Ours don't come out like that. Ours don't come out like that. My ink don't come out like that now.
What printer are you printing on?
10.
7710? And using True Colors ink?
Oh, honey, I have
And what
four.
settings are you using?
That's probably what I'll need to have to adjust.
Okay.
135. Class 135 help you.
Yeah, because we go over all those settings for each of the printers.
That's where this tool came from.
Yeah.
Class 135.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with what
All right, so
what it's doing, but it don't come out and pop like
Yeah,
this.
it's the settings.
We did different settings. I don't know what
Ain't
this
this
is.
cool? Yeah, this is popping.
I'm talking about this. Look at the
135,
look,
okay.
everybody looks,
Yellow, that's the level.
like you said, true colors. That looks like,
And then this is
Alright.
without that.
yes.
So I'm gonna press this again, right about here.
And yeah, that's real nice.
And y'all see these waves right here? So these waves are what happens with sublimation. So sublimation is basically, it's not dye ink, it's actually a pigment ink. The dye is the process, you're dyeing the fibers. So if somebody says sublimation ink is dye ink, it is pigment ink, but it's a dye process, okay? So you're dyeing the fibers of the polyester permanently. So polyester is going to receive this gas, and it permanently bonds, so it is forever. It's never going to crack, peel, or fade. It's never going to separate. That polyester fiber itself, that shirt will tear up before the actual ink gives up. So you can tell people that, hey, this is a high performance. This is a high performance solution. This is like a Nike dry fit shirt. Those are the keywords that I use. The words that I use, the buzzwords. Like a Nike dry fit. It's gonna last forever. It will never crack, peel, or fade. It will last a lifetime. The shirt will give out before the actual ink fails on this system. And once you tell people that, they're like, okay, so my mom's shirt is forever like a memorial shirt. It's gonna forever, yes, it will forever be. And those are the kind of things that will help you value that next to those other heat transfers and especially memorial products and that sort of thing. People are very impressed to have this type of solution. All right, so I'm gonna do this neck again. And then I guess you'll get a chance to see that because that is something to see as well. So I'm spinning it. And then I'm gonna get under this neck one more again. And I probably could add a little pressure and it would take that out, but because I think we have good settings everywhere else, it's just the neck. That neck is gonna be the bane of my existence until I figure out something out. But if I could do a a solution for that neckline. We'll be in there. So let's check the bottom. Let's sneak peek down here now.
I can't wait to do that.
Okay. Now, do you see where you're crossing over the overlap? See how every time you overlap black, it gives a little more because it's not the color isn't lifting up into the print. Guess what the color is doing?
Going down.
It's going down into the fabric. So every time you press black, you're basically fading it out and you're changing, like you're overheating it. Black is sensitive, you know. We artists and we're a little sensitive about our shit, and sometimes it comes out in the press. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
I'm looking at you. You heard what she said.
Yeah, and I'm on YouTube too.
That's all right.
I know, right?
So listen, and technically I was quoting art, so that is
Okay.
a quote.
All right.
When I used to write my papers, I'm quoting someone I can curse. All right. Now, I can't use that with my daddy. That was a different story, but it's still. All right, so let's see how this top turns out now. I'm just going to peel it back a little bit. I'm not going to press it again, you know, for the sake of time, but let's see. Let's peel that back a little bit. You see how it recovered up there? And I'll pull it out because I don't want y'all to have to get up underneath this heat. But let's go ahead and just pull this off. And then we can also see where there are going to be imperfections in the overlap. Look at the print itself. Uh-oh. I want to keep the print intact so that y'all can see. Got no tape happy over there. Okay, so let me just lay this on the floor. Let me just lay it out so y'all can walk around it and see where you're over pressing it. The black almost turned red right there in the middle. We pressed it 1, 2, 3, 4 times right there in the center. So you can see the black is lining up here. So let's do the same thing with the large format. And I think I might have my pressure a little bit high here because I actually have
And see,
a hard
this
line here.
happens to me too, even though I have the hanger. Mine hang even
It's
lower.
pressure. It's pressure, right? You gotta basically you gotta get your pressure just right, and that's why I like this
I think
system
it
too
comes
because
from here.
when you're using that board, you have to drastically change your settings every time you press a regular shirt versus a large format shirt. Once you get this right, this Teflon isn't making that much of a difference, so you can have it set to how your regular shirts press. Matter of fact, set it to your large format shirts. And then your regular shirts are gonna press fine either way it goes because it's making that contact and the ink isn't going past the platen. So the other thing is this is a pull-out press too, so I have to be aware if my press isn't pushed all the way back, then it's not getting even pressure either. So I have to make sure that I'm down here, making sure it's pushed all the way back into position. So we can still use this cover paper a couple more times. Let's get a new cover paper. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna still use this bottom cover paper because I wanna show y'all something about these shirts. So when y'all think y'all are tripping, that hey, shirts are symmetric and I just don't press straight or right, it's not just you all. Like sometimes you're going by the shirt itself, the hems and all, and it's just not symmetric. When I put this on here, if this was mathematically symmetric, that means I should be able to put this on left or right and it would fit right in there. Watch how shoulders isn't necessarily lined up. A little bit of this will be off here if I adjust it this way. So sometimes it's just the shirt. Look at this hem. And then the last shirt I pressed, the hem was down here.
Right.
It was the same, it was a 21M large. So I just want y'all to understand, it's not y'all, sometimes, most times, it'll be shirt. So just like I have a little more hanging out from here to here, depending on how they inset the sleeves when they sew them, it cuts the excess off, so you would never know. But yeah, you will know doing all of this. But see how flat it is because we pre-pressed it so much as well.
Shannon, when you start pressing it to pretty much get the moist out, what was the temp? You did 30 or 60?
We did 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Some people only pre-press for around 10 seconds. I found that it doesn't give me enough time to get it flat.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just putting extra tape here because this shirt is really short in the middle.
When you press it like that, it's just about locking in that flatness.
Don't mess up my print,
Cause
okay?
it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But
It's nice because you reduce the amount of lines and folding.
No, that was the young lady going outside checking up on her kid.
I thought people were checking on it.
You know, all I do is just
We ain't gonna know. Not time.
That's the bottom of your hand.
Okay. Got you. All right, so I'm just checking to make sure I'm still centered here, and like I said, these things will be on point. I see my center there.
Don't forget your wedge.
Hmm?
Your wedge.
Oh yeah, the top. So let me pull it out the back, and then. Like I said, I normally put this in. Here, let me just pull this out. I normally put this in when I have the shirt upside down, so y'all please don't work under your press like this. If you don't have to, it's not like it's impossible. It is, it's definitely possible. It's probable that you're gonna burn yourself.
I definitely have.
All right.
Right. I can
So,
still tell you
Shannon,
that.
did you
Let me find.
print those?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Actually, Erica did. So Erica is the sponsoring business partner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say what? Say who did that? Who did the prints right there?
So Erica can do the large format prints. She can also show you how to do the large format press and allow you to use it for a period of time where you just have some prints to do. But you have a small apartment, come to the house, get the prints done. And she will have the buddy system too, and she'll use the buddy system for her big press. And then if she needs to use a small press, she can. But once you get the big press and the